Hey everybody. So I've gotten a really positive response to my Analyzing Ellison series. The first episode went up not too long ago, and it's going to be an ongoing series where I take a different story by Harlan Ellison and um, provide an introduction, summarize it, and analyze it from a literary standpoint, from an artistic standpoint, political, philosophical, all of the different angles he can take on his different stories. Um, and so the first episode was for Whimper of Whipped Dogs, which is the first story in Deathbird Stories. And as I said in the episode, that's usually where I tell people to start with Harlan Ellison's work. So we got a really good, really positive response, and wanted to take the time to answer some viewer questions and that sort of thing. The first thing I want to say, though, is I intend for it to be ultimately a monthly series. That said, unfortunately, the next 2 months of my life are going to be my time is going to be at a premium, just because I'm going to have a lot going on. As regular viewers of my channel know, there was a shooting outside my door Tuesday night, and so I have set in motion plans to move to a different apartment, and in addition to just the physical act of moving, there is bureaucracy at both locations that has to be dealt with. And quite honestly, I today went down to the leasing office at my current complex and talked to a woman that, tried to reason with a woman that could not give us even 2/10 of a 747 flying fuck that there had just been a massive shooting incident in the apartment complex. Anyway, this is unquestionably the most dangerous complex I've ever lived in, and I used to live like 3 blocks away from one of the most dangerous streets in Atlanta. Anyway, so that's a side note. And Mitzi is sitting on the stool that I'm using to prop the camera, so that's why it keeps rocking back and forth. Anyway, so getting back to the subject of Analyzing Ellison and what all is coming up. So first of all, I've gotten a lot of people asking, are you going to do I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? Yes, of course. I mean, you're not, that's unquestionable. Now, the thing is, there are a few Harlan Ellison stories, that specific handful of Harlan Ellison stories that everybody is waiting for. Everybody is just waiting for me to do. I know. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Repent Harlequin Said the TikTok Man. A Boy and His Dog. Jeff D is 5. All of those, the absolute classics, the most legendary classics. So yeah, I'm going to rest assured I'm going to get to all of the Hugo winners. I'm going to get to all of the Nebula winners, all of his most famous stories I'm going to do. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I had toyed with the idea of making it the 109th episode, but I don't know if I'll, if I'm trying to do this in once a month, that's several years down the line, so that's probably too long to wait. If you've read I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, you know why I would make it that number. But anyway, so that's probably too far to wait. At the same time, to the people who are asking about when are we going to get I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, I want to get really good at this new series before I do I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, just because it is my favorite short story. It's the short story that introduced me to Harlan Ellison. Specifically, it was the announcement back in the 90s, it was the announcement of the CD-ROM game that first turned me on to Harlan Ellison, and that's how I started reading his work and went from there. And I'd actually like to do, I already have a commentary Let's Play sort of thing on my channel that I did a while back, but I'd like to do a specific episode of Analyzing Ellison devoted to the CD-ROM game in addition to the short story, and I think they deserve, both works are so profound that they deserve to be analyzed separately. Kind of like one of the things that I'm going to have to undertake, I know, is at some point, obviously, I'll have to do A Boy and His Dog, and I will. That's another one where I want to make sure I'm damn good at this new format before I try to take it on. And that is one where, as readers will know, A Boy and His Dog is a standalone story, but it is also the middle section of a complete novel called Bloods Are Over. And so, knowing that, it deserves to be analyzed just for that story, and then it deserves to be analyzed as a larger part of Bloods Are Over, the novel. And to everyone, so everyone that's written in, someone asked if I'm going to do Spider Kiss. Yes, I want to do Spider Kiss at some point. That's actually, I really love that's one of his few novels. Most of Ellison's work is in short story format. I was also asked if I would do Web of the City. That would be certainly an interesting one to do. That's going back to his pulp writing days and everything. And I would also think that was pulp fiction. It was really before he was writing with a message, but it would still be great to review, great to look at, and talk about. I got one interesting question. Someone was asking if I was going to do an analysis of Harlan Ellison's Watching and of The Glass Teat and The Other Glass Teat. So if you don't know, The Glass Teat and The Other Glass Teat are two collections of commentaries that Harlan Ellison wrote for the Los Angeles Free Press about television, commenting on television and analyzing television and all that, looking into where the medium was going, its potentials, its ability to affect social change. And he really had a lot of, kind of the burgeoning insights that we would eventually see satirized, or I should say amplified through the satire of movies like Network and that sort of thing. So it's very insightful, and Harlan Ellison's Watching is a collection of movie reviews. So both are excellent reads, but I really don't have any reason to cover those just because they themselves, they're not creative works. They are analytical commentaries, critical analytical commentaries on culture and media and that sort of thing. So I really don't have any reason to analyze analysis. I do recommend those, though. They're fascinating reads. So anyway, like I said, the big ones, we will do all of the big ones. We will do I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. We will do Jeff D is 5 and Repent Harlequin Said the TikTok Man. And all of those, we will get to them eventually, and I'm excited to get to them. This is my way of contributing to and upholding the Harlan Ellison legacy, and that sort of thing. So I'm very excited to contribute to and be a part of that. Ellison is without question my favorite writer. I was privileged to know him while he was alive, which was very, very cool. And so that all is that's all good stuff, and I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm thinking about, because even though I'm going to be consumed with this move and everything for the next for the foreseeable future, or at least the immediate future, I have thought about what are some Harlan Ellison stories that are short stories that I could knock out very quickly. One of the things that motivated me to want to try this now is because Midjourney has gotten so good that it's gotten so good that you can generate imagery very quickly. And so I've been teaching myself how to use Midjourney to get really good responses from it in the past. And it's great for something like this, because one of the problems, I love BookTube. I love BookTube. I love hearing people talk about books. But the problem is there's really not a lot of visual when it comes to talking about books. Obviously, you can hold up, your copy of the book on camera, and that's about it. And actually, by the way, if you're new to this channel, I do have a series called Book Talk with Jordan and Stefan, where we do just sit and analyze books in a podcast format. But there's very few books where people are able to analyze them with a lot of visual references. Obviously there's tons of analysis out there of House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski and everything. that's one that has so many visual components with it that you can open it up and look at it that way and everything. But the new opportunities that are offered by Midjourney give me the opportunity to do something really cool with this. And so I've been thinking, you have to remember, even though the Midjourney is a very promising technology, and even if you know how to use it, it can still generate nonsense a lot of the time, and you have to keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking what you're asking it to do. And usually getting the image you want is a result of getting separate images of all of the components of that image and blending them together, and then taking that image and having it redraw it with new parameters. It does still take a while to get what you need. And I say that because I was actually trying different scenes. One of the ones I want to do is Mephisto and Onyx, and there's a scene where the guy, the main character in Mephisto and Onyx, is talking about trying to get a hotel room for the night, and because he's a telepath, he can read the bellhop's mind, and he knows that the guy's not giving him a hotel room because he's black. And so I tried to illustrate that scene with the guy. Tried to just illustrate a guy reaching out with keys to hotel room keys to hand to somebody, and what happens is you have one guy that is supposed to be looking over here, and he's looking off over here while he's holding out keys, and then the hand is out here and the keys are floating in the middle distance, so you still get stuff like that, and you have to tweak it to get it all right. But anyway, so there's that aspect of it. But I've been thinking about some of the stories I could accomplish fairly simply and fairly quickly just to get a new episode out there. Shatter Day is one that I could do quickly. Paladin of the Lost Hour could be done fairly quickly. Mephisto and Onyx, because I really like that story. I can't. I don't have it. It's about a 50-page story, and so I don't have the time to really sit down and break it all down and go into from there all of the analysis of it to give it what it's due. So like a Shatter Day or Paladin of the Lost Hour, there are stories. He's got stories that are definitely deep cuts, like super deep cuts. That only the most ardent fans will know about. A story like Soft Monkey, or a story like When All's Acquaintances Forgot. That kind of thing. These stories that are just very, very obscure. He's got over 1,700 stories, so we won't be running out of episodes, certainly. But to answer the inevitable questions, yes, whatever you're wondering, are you going to do such and such story? Yes, I am. Don't worry. All the ones you could possibly be hoping for, and then some, will eventually be covered. That's my goal. Yeah, and so so many others come to mind that I want to do. The more obscure ones, things like. I was going to say Life Hutch. Life Hutch is not obscure anymore because it was just done as an episode of Love, Death, and Robots. But anyway, there's so many more that I want to do, and I'd like to do At the Mouse Circus at some point, and just be like, have the analysis just be like, look, I don't know what the fuck this story's about, but things like that. So there's a lot of great opportunities in there, and I'm really looking forward to the series. And one of the things I'm having fun with is doing generating like imagery from different stories, test images from different stories, and in different styles. So like I was thinking of doing A Boy and His Dog as anime, because there's something about anime to me that really works well with like post-apocalyptic destruction, and when you think of the destruction of war and everything, when you think of like everything from Akira to Grave of the Fireflies and everything else in between. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with the series. I'm really excited about it, and I look forward to bringing you new episodes. Take care.